We are here today in the beautiful Victoria Falls, thanks enormously to the government of Zimbabwe that has put everything at our disposal to ensure that the over 2,000 participants that are in this forum experience what it is to be in one of the most beautiful spots on the continent. We would like to take this opportunity to thank the government of Zimbabwe, to thank all the organizers and the rest of the UN family that have helped us to get to this point today. We do hope that this is going to be a week where we come together to talk about Africa's challenges as we launch the Decade of Action. We know as we meet this week that Africa is off track on many of the SDGs. To meet Agenda 2063 or to meet Agenda 2030, Africa will have to accelerate its efforts. Africa will have to bring a lot of the successful efforts that we see in various parts of the continent to scale. That is why we're very pleased to have such an enormous attendance, because we hope that there will be a lot of South-South exchange and that we can take experiences that are happening in Morocco, here in Zimbabwe, as we know, a cradle of one of the ICT hubs on the continent, that we can take these experiences and understand how we can leverage them, scale them, so that Africa can meet the SDGs. This forum is going to stress particularly that we leave no one behind. This is what Agenda 2030 is about. We must build an inclusive Africa. We must build an Africa that ensures that the women, the kids, and the youth are part of the decision-making process, but more importantly, are part of the effort that delivers prosperity to the continent. To do that, we will have to mobilize adequate financing, hence the need for getting our finance ministers, our private sector, our central bankers around the table to understand what it is that we can do. We are in Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls in this part of the region has suffered recently from the impacts of climate change. The conversations around climate change for Zimbabwe, for Zambia, for Mozambique are real, but they are real as well in the Sahel, they're real in the Horn of Africa, and they're real in the Congo and the Lake Chad Basin. So we are also going to be having these conversations about how we can ensure that Africa benefits by building a new climate economy. We know that the new climate economy can deliver more jobs, can deliver better jobs, and can deliver a better and more prosperous environment for Africa. These are the conversations we'll be having. We cannot do any of this if we don't have the right data to make policy. 20 African countries in the next 3 to 5 years are going to have to do censuses. We hope that we can have a conversation this week on how we ensure that we use data, that we use new technology, that we use digital methodologies to be able to fast-track the collection of data, but also that with our policymakers we can talk about putting this data at the service of both the intellectual and the research community, but also the policymakers, so that we can ensure that when policy is made on the continent, is made appropriately and it addresses the right issues. Once again, I want to thank you very much. We have our highest level representatives. The Deputy Secretary General will be here with us. We want to once again be grateful to the people of Zimbabwe, the leadership of Zimbabwe, the President himself, the African Union Deputy Chairperson and the Chairperson who could not be here, everybody who is here this weekend and over the next 5 days for joining us, the whole UN family, and when we hope that because we have such a varied group of people, the conversations will be successful and we will take away something that can ensure that Africa accelerates its growth and achieves prosperity by 2030.